Hey there, Kevin Grayton with Shooting Illustrated. I'm on the range today with something that just got released today. This is the brand new Springfield Armory Hellcat 380. Let's take a look, let's see what's inside. All right, we have the typical Springfield Armory box here. Nice little nylon pouch, looks to have a gun inside of it. A flat base plate for a magazine. Hey, look, here's paperwork stuff. Over here we've got, looks like to be a what? 13 round magazine, okay. Interesting, a cover plate, okay. And the usual cable lock. Let's take a look, let's see what's inside this pouch here. He says. Okay, let's see what we got here. We have a gun the other way. All right, here we go. So, okay, they shipped it with a dot. Now, this is not something I don't think you're going to see on the model shipping, you get at your gun dealer. I think this is just like a gun writer thing. Let's take a look, see what dot we've got here. Oh, okay, this is the new one. This is the new Shield OMSC. Brand new, nice. I'm really curious to try this dot out because it's got that clear top on that. Now, Shield says it makes it easier to pick up the dot and easier to see things because you're no longer staring down a tube. I don't know. Let's find out. We got a magazine in here, empty, of course. 11 rounds. All right, let's just see what the trigger feels like on this thing. Just to show you, just to be sure, right? Okay, we're cool. Not bad. Okay, it's a good striker fire trigger. We're probably looking at about 5.5 pounds worth of pressure on it. Clean, you had that typical striker fire kind of springy break. It's interesting. It's a little bit smaller, it looks like, than the regular Hellcat. I'm not sure it's going to fit in the regular Hellcat holsters, but with 380, what you're looking at with this gun now is something that's a little bit softer on recoil, much easier to rack back and forth. So which type of people are going to buy this gun? Well, for the past 5 years or so, there's really been a lot of market activity on 380 semi-compact pistols like this because they're easier to shoot, they're easier to manipulate. I live in Florida. I have a lot of people in my classes who have trouble, with hand strength, being able to pull back the slide on the pistol, even if they do, a push-pull like that. They still have trouble with that. They also have problems with recoil. And with some of the pistols out there that you see in this market, they have a grip safety on the back, or they have a very small, thumb safety of some kind. And again, we're dealing with people who have limited hand mobility. That's a difficult thing for people to operate. A lot of people don't grip that grip safety properly and they can't figure out why their gun doesn't shoot. A lot of people have some problems flicking on and off that small safety, or they just forget to do it. So with this gun here, you're looking at a gun that has all the advantages of a regular polymer frame striker fired pistol, except it's a little bit easier to shoot and it's a little bit easier to manipulate. So take it to the range, let's see how we do with it, okay? Okay, we've got the pistol out on the range. I've got an 8-inch steel plate about 8 yards away there. I'm shooting 5 rounds of CCI Blazer Brass 380 95 grain. Let's see how this gun shoots. My first shots of the day with a gun I've never shot before. What could possibly go wrong? Wow, okay, some thoughts. First off, no recoil. Really easy to shoot. I like that. It's a 9mm polymer striker fired gun that just happens to be chambered in 380. That's the easiest way to describe this gun. Now, holster selection, I don't know. These just came out. You'll have to look around. Very easy to shoot. Lots of, like I say, you're looking at, 11 rounds at a minimum. Not bad. It's something that shoots a lot easier than 9mm. I mean, that thing was just a joy to shoot. The sight. Now this is different. This is my first time trying this sight, and it took me a second there to pick up the dot. Of course, that'll, I'll get better at that because I practice with it more. Yeah, it actually is easier to pick up the sight because it's more natural. Your eye isn't distracted by that, the housing up on top there. The dot honestly could be a little bit brighter in my opinion, but I tend to like really bright dots because I have very strong prescriptions, so your mileage may vary on that. Sights, I haven't talked about those. The sights on these are the U-notch tritium front sight that you see a lot in Springfield pistols. really good. If you don't use a dot, those are going to be excellent sights for you. Trigger, it's a striker fired gun. It's got a striker fired trigger. So what is this gun? This is the gun for the person in your life who looks at a micro compact pistol like the Hellcat 9mm and says, okay, that's great, but I'm a little bit intimidated by it. They have some problems, maybe, manipulating the trigger. They haven't learned quite how to do the push-pull yet like that, or they just can't for some reason. This is the gun for them. This is for the gun who's maybe the gun for a person who's a little bit more recoil adverse. This is the gun for the person who's used to a polymer frame striker fire pistol, doesn't want to migrate to some of the other guns out there that have different actions that are single action only with the safety. This is the gun for them. So has Springfield got something here? Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I could see where they're going with it. All of these 380s that we've seen in the market in this micro compact size or compact size even have all kind of been single action with the safety because they've all wanted to optimize for ease of use. Really easy to rack, really light triggers, but they have a safety. This gun isn't that. This gun is for people who are used to your standard, like your Springfield XDs and things like that, or like the Echelon, but they want something maybe a little bit smaller, can take a dot, which is nice, and a little bit easier to shoot. This is the gun for them. Hey, you want more information on this gun? Go check out Springfield Armory's website. You want for information on Blazer brass ammunition? Well, go look at CCI's website. And if you want more information on the NRA, please visit nra.org.